tuned for the Splash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host for today, Kevin McIntosh, joined with my colleague and co-worker, Jake Schaf. What's going on, Jake?
Hey, Kevin, glad to be here. Still sitting in right here for Tyler Kieft as he is away, keeping the seat nice and warm for him. It's Monday, start of a brand new week and start of a lot of brand new stories, Kevin, so let's get right into it.
That's right, getting straight into some updates on the previous reported armed robberies in and around West Bloomfield. The female arrestee was identified as 36-year-old Molly Catherine O'Malley Malzinski, a West Bloomfield resident, by the way. The West Bloomfield Police Department and Orchard Lake Police Department detectives completed their joint investigation and presented the case to the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office. Now, the following felony charges were authorized against her. That includes 7 counts of armed robbery, 8 counts of felony firearm, 1 count of weapons discharged in a building, and 1 count of weapons carrying concealed. Now, she was arraigned on those charges Saturday, September 7, 2024. A court set a $75,000 no 10% bond, and she was transferred to the Oakland County Jail. Charges are accusations, and individuals are presumed innocent until or unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law, by the way. But presenting that information to the community to let them know that the police are on top of things. The suspect has been detained, and they are going through the legal process right now. So we love to just, like we said, let the community know that our local authorities are doing their job, Jake.
Absolutely. It's great to know that everything seems to be taken care of and that this should not happen again. Glad that this was, I mean, it's obviously bad that this happened, but it's good that it doesn't seem like there's anybody else involved and that the situation seems to have been taken care of. So yes, a lot of relief and glad to hear from the police department.
No, 100%. We are more importantly happy that there were no injuries reported also. So happy everything was safe. Moving on to a lighter note, things in our community. West Bloomfield High School movie night date was actually changed to Friday, September 13th. As a matter of fact, this was due to bad weather. The date for the West Bloomfield School District community movie night, like we said, was moved to Friday, September 13th, 6 p.m. The movie will still be Lyle Crocodile, starring Javier Bardem and Shawn Mendes, by the way. So it will be, just like we said, just a change of date. Still a great time to go out there and support. The event does support the school activity fund, and concession profits will benefit the athletic department of the West Bloomfield Lakers, which we all want to support. Just make sure you go out there, bring a blanket, bring a chair, and just get ready to have a good time with your family. So another day for us to look forward to, Jake. Even though the weather played a little trick on us the initial day, I'm glad we're just rescheduling it to a further day where we can just have a great family fun night.
For sure. This event sounds like so much fun, especially as the weather starting to get a little chillier. Like, it's not going to be too much longer that we can have these nice nights outside without a little thing called snow dealing with everything. And to see that movie, to sit out on that giant field and to watch it on that giant big screen, that's got to be an amazing feeling, and that's going to be so much fun for everyone to see.
Yeah, anything they put on that nice LED screen, LCD screen, whatever it is going to look very, very nice. So we're looking forward to that Friday, September 13th as well. But keeping things moving, talking about celebrations and anniversaries, the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society has somewhat of a celebration event going on recently. Isn't that right, Jay?
That's right. All throughout this year, the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society has been celebrating their 50th anniversary. And just yesterday, on Sunday, the society celebrated their own history by inviting the public over to Orchard Lake Museum to take families on a fun and unique journey through history. And I was out there yesterday, and I spoke with some of the guests and some of the members of the society to talk about just what this event represents and how it feels to have spent the last 50 years showcasing history to the community.
Well, today is the 50th anniversary of the society being formed in 1974, and so we are pretending to be back in time, having sodas from that time, and the chores that we have out for the children to try are things that children would have done in the late 1800s, early 1900s in this area.
And how great is it to be able to showcase history in this fun and unique way?
Oh, we hope that the families always come as families with children, and even though we enjoy having the adults come, the children are the ones who really seem to appreciate and enjoy something different, something that's not handheld and needs batteries.
How important are events like these to the community, would you say?
Very important, and we live around the corner. We really don't even realize that the museum is here. So great to get community together in a casual way and get together and take a look at some fun things and sweets that of course kids enjoy too.
Well, I mean, it's great. It's been 50 years, 50 years in that they've been in existence. So it's quite a thing for them. And there's other demonstrations here, and it's really, it's fun. The weather's beautiful, and it's just great.
And how important is it for communities like this to take such an interest in history?
Well, the whole thing about it is it'll be lost, and these people, they're trying to get people knowledgeable about their history and where they came from, and this area in particular. They have a nice museum, and they welcome people. It's just great, and it doesn't cost much to belong and support everything. They do the best they can.
How do you hope to see the Historical Society continue to preserve history for the next 50 years and beyond?
Well, something special happened with this particular event, because we've had 4 teams of students who volunteered to help at the event. So where we've been very concerned that our population is becoming older, more mature, the children have given us a new lease by saying, hey, we can do this, and we didn't have to ask them. They offered. They said, hey, I want to be part of this. And wow, so today is like a big turnaround for us, that we're beginning to hand over the reins to a generation, 2 generations away from us. So we're loving the way the children are embracing the experiences.
And everywhere I looked out there, Kevin, the children were having so much fun. You could see it. They were looking in that little, like an archaeological dig area where they were like sifting through the sand, finding little treasures. They were mesmerized by a lot of the different artifacts that were on display. And as they mentioned, they were put to work a little bit. You could see them carrying the buckets over to the water spout to try to fill them up. But it was such an innovative experience, and it was great to see, like Linda was saying, this new generation appreciating this side of history.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. As they mentioned in the interview, also the fact that the members are getting a little bit older, so you want to make sure you're passing that tradition down to the younger generation, showing them what it takes to build it, showing them what's involved, and just helping them to learn a little bit more. Also, so great story, great package and interview, by the way, Jake. Also, with the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society 50th anniversary event celebration. Now, a little less on the celebration side locally. The Birmingham Groves actually rolled its run game to a victory over our West Bloomfield Lakers 28-13 on Friday night during week 2 of the 2024 Michigan high school football season. Now, there's a lot to unpack with this game. Both teams were ranked in the top 10 in Detroit Free Press in the state, but now things are looking a little bit different. But to join us right here on the Splash to break that game down, we have West Bloomfield High School color commentary football analyst for Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM, Matt Catoni. Thank you for being here, Matt.
Yep, thank you for having me.
All right, Matt. So I watched this game too, man. It's a lot to unpack. Let's start just overall. How would you describe the overall performance for the West Bloomfield Lakers, both on the offensive and defensive strategies?
I would say slow. They got off to a slow start on both sides of the ball. They were much better in the second half, but really they couldn't overcome the hole that they put themselves in the first half.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a, I was gonna say a crazy start, but yes, they did pick up the momentum later. But that brings me to something that I brought Coach Hilbers in week 1. I asked him about the importance of gaining that momentum early, right? And early in the first half, they did have a fumble recovery, and that did kind of help them get onto their touchdown later on. So how do you feel like that actually impacted their momentum, at least in the first quarter, with that fumble recovery and touchdown?
Yeah, that fumble recovery at first, it made it seem like it was going to be that like Chippewa. They got the turnover to start the game. Alos ends up scoring on the 30-yard touchdown 2-3 plays later. But then after that, the offense really struggled to get things going, and they especially struggled to stop Mario Campoy-Lavasco, who had a 50-yard touchdown in the first half and really just could not go down at first contact.
Yeah, hey, Matt, we're going to talk about that in a minute, because that was a run game right there. But join us right here on the Splash, talking about the West Bloomfield High School Lakers football team and their loss against Birmingham Groves. We have Matt Catoni, West Bloomfield football color commentator for Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. So that quarterback change West Bloomfield made to Jamal Shakespeare, how do you feel like that actually impacted or changed the momentum, the energy in the second half?
Yeah, I think it may be a bit because of the chemistry that Shakespeare has with these receivers. He's been here for a few years now, played with a lot of these guys, whereas Bo Jackson is his first year with this team. So I think when that change was made, we saw a little bit of that chemistry playing a factor in why we saw the offense play a little bit better in the first half or in the second half than it did in the first half. And really, it's unfortunate that we're at this point, but it is a question of who's going to be the quarterback in the future.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we heard Coach Hilbert say they'll both get some playing time, they'll both get some action, and this kind of proved it. But yeah, we still need to find out who's going to be that official fit to kind of make everything, come together and, make that chemistry and that synergy kind of work. Now let's go on to the elephant in the room. Mario Campoy-Lavasco, if I'm saying that name right. In your opinion, what made that run game so effective with Mario, especially with him leading the charge? How was it so good in your opinion?
Well, it's not just Campoy-Lavasco. They're a talented team up front altogether. They have Avery Gosh, who's going to be a phenomenal player at the next level as well at Michigan, hopefully.
Yep.
But Campoy-Lavasco was a very physical runner, and he was that's something you can't coach or really teach is effort. And that was the main reason why he was getting a lot of these runs, was that second effort and really just pushing through contact and getting past the second level.
Yeah, man, he was a Mack truck on that field, Matt. I looked and said, it's like they're just moving out of the way. I want to give it a little bit credit to their O-line also, because they made the space for him. He was getting straight through there. But, I mean, the rest, it was just him. He kept the momentum, and it was out of there for that, man. So, yeah, I think their running game, they had a few players that were just making some significant plays. Not too many passing plays on their end, not at least deep balls, I'll say, that were successful. But nonetheless, they kept it on the ground and they kept it moving. Also, any standout moments from West Bloomfield's defense, even though, they couldn't stop the run game as much, but any other standout moments from the Lakers defense in this game that were significant to you?
I would say that just how they came out in the second half and really stopped the bleeding and gave the team a chance to get back in the game. Only giving up 7 points in that second half was crucial, and it really gave them a chance to be in it up until, about 5-6 minutes in the game. And that's something that is going to be impressive and hold through for the rest of the season, hopefully.
Right. No, 100%. There's some work to be done. I think with that blowout win at home, could have been some heads blown up, a little bit of ego, and this kind of brings it down, helps us kind of correct. See, go back to film, find out what we need to correct. You know what I'm saying? But join us right here live on The Splash. West Bloomfield football color commentator for Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM, McIntosh, talking about the West Bloomfield Lakers loss against Birmingham Groves 28-13 on the road. So what do you feel like is the recipe for success, that bounce back comeback to going into week 3, Matt?
Well, I think it's going to have to be short-term memory. They're going to have to recognize that Birmingham Groves is obviously one of the most talented teams in the state, and occasionally this is going to happen. Now, coming into next week, they have Rochester Adams, who's coming off of a huge win themselves. Ryland Waters having 3 rushing touchdowns, and they shut out Rochester. So now they're coming in against a hot opponent, whereas, they may have just gotten a wake-up call. So now it's just going to be up to them to be determined and focused and come through and play a detailed game against a well-coached Tony Petrito team.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, I mean, they're going against another team that's coming off some great momentum. So, like you said, short-term memory. Hey, that was week 2. Past that, it's over. Clock already ran out. Let's focus on the future. So like I said, go back to the film room, find out what happened, break that down, and make your adjustments accordingly. Just a few more questions, Matt, at your time before we get out of here. I want to, from your professional perspective, I want you to kind of just break down the evaluation performance for Bo Jackson as quarterback. Before they switched over, how would you rank it? Does it need a lot of fixing from your perspective, please?
I don't think there's really all too much to fix. It's just probably a matter of just getting used to playing with the receivers in game more so, because just a few of those incompletions for Jackson's were just, slight misses on timing routes where I think, just a split second difference or slight timing difference, it's a big completion. So I think it's one of those things where Jamal Shakespeare's also phenomenal on defense so far to start this year. So do you necessarily want to remove him off the defensive side of the ball and make him the quarterback? Whereas if Bo Jackson gets a little bit more time in, gets a little bit more chemistry in, the offense can start taking a bigger step with him as well, considering that his arm strength and what he can do throwing the ball downfield.
Okay, so that's interesting. We're talking about energy, chemistry, synergy, things of that nature. In your opinion, do you think we should see more of Bo Jackson on the field to develop that chemistry live in the game, or should we let Shakespeare continuously go and build off what he has with the receivers already?
It may kind of have to be the situation where we see the reversal of roles, whereas we've seen Bo Jackson kind of be the lead quarterback in the sense these first few weeks, whereas now you bring in Shakespeare to kind of get the offense off to a good start, and then you bring in Bo Jackson to kind of pick in off of that momentum and kind of build it in chemistry and confidence off of that.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. We got to shake something up because, it wasn't a horrible loss, but I see what you're talking about right there, especially with the momentum that we had in the second half. Hey, Matt, I appreciate your time. Just looking ahead, how do you feel like this loss overall will shape the Lakers' season, especially as they face other top-ranked teams?
Well, I think the biggest thing is it's not a division loss. Granted, it's an OAA loss, but it's to a team in the white as opposed to the team in the red. So it doesn't necessarily hurt their division chances as long as they handle their business in their own division. I think this kind of serves as more of a wake-up call, like kind of, slap to the back of the head for the Lakers. And now they're going to be better going forward. And I think, as long as they handle business this week and come out and play a disciplined game, they should be in good position for the rest of the season.
Well said. Perfect place to land the plane too, Matt. Thank you again for your time, man. Good luck, fingers crossed to the Lakers going forward. We will obviously be there and keep that coverage going right here. West Bloomfield football color commentator for Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM, McIntosh. Thank you again, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot to learn right there, Jake. When it comes to our Lakers, yes, don't be discouraged. Like Matt said, have short-term memory and keep it moving forward. So as we continue to keep the coverage right here on CivicCenterTV.com, 89.3 Lakes FM, we'll keep you updated as the Lakers go on throughout their season. Now, speaking of athletes and recoveries in between games, there's a lot of different techniques and ways for athletes and just people in general to kind of get those muscles back together for physical activity. You kind of understand what I'm saying, Jake?
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying, and it leads us right into our next topic. Now, the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce always does their part to help highlight businesses in the area, and they are going to be doing exactly that in just a few weeks' time with a therapeutic ribbon cutting event at Robotic Muscle Therapy on September 25th at 5 p.m., which this business providing a very unique way to help get those muscles relaxed, help making your body feel good, and to help getting you up and moving again. And I want to go into that just a little bit more. So joining us right now on The Splash, we have Clinic Director with Robotic Muscle Therapy, Dr. Manny Virapin. Dr. Manny, thank you so much for joining us today. So I want to get into, we'll talk about the ribbon cutting in just a little bit, but first I want to explain a little bit more about what robotic muscle therapy is.
Yeah, so we use robotic technology to lengthen muscles. There's actually the robot right behind me there.
Oh.
So it's a robotic arm. What we do is we place that on tight muscle tissue and it lengthens it. It's very similar to the manual treatments that physical therapists do. It's just a little quicker and more effective.
Okay, fascinating. And it's really cool to see the robot right here over Zoom with us. And what are some of the benefits of this practice from the traditional methods of physical therapy, would you say?
Yeah, so some of the most common things that we treat is low back pain, sciatica, neck pain. And with the robotic technology, like you see the arm right there, it's able to actually touch the hip flexor, which is a very deep muscle. You can't really touch that muscle with human hands. And if you touch it, it usually flares up like the clients that we see. So with the robotic arm, it's nice and relaxed and it goes in there and just pushes. Treatments are usually like 60 to 90 minutes. We do a few different spots. The benefit also is because we're completely cash-based as a practice, we can treat multiple areas of the body in the same visit.
Wow, that's great. And from what it sounds like you just explained, it seems like that these machines can get deeper into the body than most therapists are able to. Is that correct?
That's correct. And what I tell my clients is we start treating at 9 a.m. If I see someone at 5 a.m., my hands might get tired, but the robotic arm will not. It's more precise. So they get the same feel every time. We, document the percentages. It can put up to 30 pounds of pressure down. Most of our clients don't need that much pressure, but some athletes that we treat, some football players and things of that nature, it helps them. It's very effective.
Absolutely. Always great to have that option if necessary. Once again, joining us on The Splash Live, we have Dr. Manny Virapin, Clinic Director with Robotic Muscle Therapy, who's going to be having a ribbon cutting with the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce on September 25th. And I want to get into a little bit with that. How does it feel to be recognized by the community for this ribbon cutting?
We're very appreciative. We're honored to have that done. It's been something that we've been looking forward to now for a while.
That's great. And how are you going to be inviting the community into your business and working to further immerse yourself inside of that community?
Yeah, so most of our outreach is to like gyms or, sports teams. Like we treat some West Bloomfield high school football players, some robotics clubs, because there's some kids that are interested in that, so then they can see how the technology works. But most of the people we'll be inviting for that are, clients that we've had or prospective clients, and, just generally anyone in the community that can benefit from it.
That's great. That's really great to see you expanding that circle and to building upon what you have to further implement yourself into West Bloomfield. Now, I want to get into you just a little bit, Dr. Virapin. What has been your history with robotic muscle therapy and your history with the practice, and what got you interested in learning about these techniques, would you say?
Yeah, so I'm a physical therapist. So reason I became a physical therapist, I'm big into sports, love watching sports, the biomechanics of it, um, and this technology then came into play because I had an injury. So I hurt my left shoulder playing soccer, dislocated it actually a couple times. So then I got to try this technology out when I first came on board. Did wonders for me because I do all the exercises and everything like that, but sometimes it just feels like I can't get that extra range of motion. So that robotic arm really helped like open up that muscle tissue for me. So that's kind of how I got into working at robotic muscle therapy.
Interesting, and it's fascinating that you yourself learned about these firsthand, and then you started practicing this yourself. I think that's amazing. And going into that just a little bit more, would you say that this process has made the job easier? Would you say?
I think it makes it different. I think
Okay,
the
that's
reason
fair.
clients or patients come see healthcare providers isn't only for the treatment component, but it's also the education. So my big thing is promoting independence. So I usually only see our clients once a week because we are completely cash based, and I understand there's a financial implication. But the client education that we provide gives you independence long term. Changing in sleeping positions, driving positions, exercise regimens, things that they can implement. And then eventually, 6 months down the line after we've had our initial evaluation, they should be off on their own, doing their own thing. And we're always there if they need us.
Once again, Dr. Manny Virapin joins us on The Splash today, clinic director with robotic muscle therapy, talking about the benefits of this practice. Now, I want to go into something you just talked about, having the patients learn and understand these practices for themselves. How helpful is that, especially with the ribbon cutting event coming up?
It's essential to have that, I think. It's when the client understands what's going on and they're able to be aware of their own body, it helps a lot as a clinician when we go to treat. Because then that conversation, we're almost speaking the same language per se.
Interesting, and absolutely great for all of the patients to have as much information as possible. I'm going to let you go in just a minute, Dr. Manny. One quick question before we let you go. Where can people go to learn a little bit more about robotic muscle therapy and about your practice?
Yeah, so we have a website, roboticmuscletherapy.com. We also have an Instagram page, Robotic Muscle Therapy, and then we just started a TikTok as well. So if you're on TikTok, you can go follow us there too. We're located at Maple and Orchard Lake, right next to the GNC.
Making that jump right to social media. Dr. Manny, thank you so much for your time today. Dr. Manny Virapin, clinic director with robotic muscle therapy. Thank you.
Thank you.
So many fascinating things to learn from this practice, Kevin, and it definitely seems like it helps to do the job. I mean, I certainly get sore just like anybody else, maybe not as intensely as some of these West Bloomfield athletes, but I certainly need a good massage every now and again, or a good look at the muscles. So I think that this place has so many benefits, and it's great that they're getting recognized by the community in this way.
It's so much to know and to learn about our own body and our muscles and things of that nature. When our young athletes right here in our community, yeah, it's great to have resources like that, innovative resources like that are available. Like Dr. said, even when his hands are tired, he still has robotic hands that are not going to get tired and still get the job done just as efficient, if not more efficient. So great information and interview and great resources right here in our backyard, West Bloomfield, with muscle robotic therapy. So there are other things, resources available right here in our backyard of the Greater West Bloomfield area, including an upcoming West Bloomfield Township household hazardous waste event and shred event, giving you an opportunity to throw away and properly dispose of different waste, electronics, and confidential documents right here in West Bloomfield, Kego Harbor, Orchard Lake, and Sylvan Lake. So with us right here live on The Splash to talk a little bit more about this household hazardous waste event and shred event coming up very, very soon from the West Bloomfield Township. We have executive assistant to the township supervisor, Chris Darcy. Thank you so much for being here, Chris. Can you just tell us overall a little bit more about this household hazardous waste event and shred event coming up?
These events are very popular with our residents. We hold them twice per year. The shredding event used to be combined, but now it's held separately. So the household hazardous waste event is coming up for seniors. It's Friday, September 20th from 4 to 6 p.m. And for all residents, it's Saturday, the 21st of September from 9 to noon. And it's right here in our parking lot on the Civic Center campus, right at Town Hall's parking lot. The reason this event is so important is that just so many items that are considered hazardous to our environment that we don't want to end up in the landfill. We want those items to be recycled properly, and we have the contractors on site to do that for us.
Yeah, and that's well said, especially with the transition that we're going through with GFL and priority. We don't want to make their job even harder by putting that hazardous waste just in the garbage. So it's good that we have this event and that we let people know about it also. Just to go down a few things, what are some of the most common hazardous items that people might unknowingly throw away that's important for them to actually dispose of properly?
Well, it's very important for people to, anything that's considered hazardous. I think people throw away maybe batteries, maybe light bulbs, not thinking too much about that.
Yeah.
Maybe household cleaning solvents, you would just toss them out, the can, just throw the can away or the container away when it's nearly empty. And it's really important, if you can hold on to those items, it's really important to properly dispose of those sorts of items through either the household hazardous waste twice yearly event, or you can take them, if you come to the township to collect a free voucher, you can take them any day, any time of the year to a location in Livonia. It's called ERG.
Okay. Great resource. See, great information that we needed to share right here. And with us live on the Splash, Executive Assistant to the Township Supervisor for West Bloomfield Township, Chris Darcy, joining us talking about Household Hazardous Waste Day, which is actually September 20th for seniors, 4 to 6 p.m. and Saturday, September 21st for residents, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. But we also have Shred Day coming up also. Since you said they are separate, can you give us more information on Shred Day, please?
Yes, I sure can. So the following weekend is the shredding event. So that would be, we have September 27th and 28th. So on the 27th, which is a Friday, that would be from 4 to 6 p.m. for seniors. And then for Saturday, 9 to noon again, and that would be for all residents. Now, what you would want to do is each resident can bring up to 50 pounds of shredding. The shredding is done on site, so no documents will leave this location that have not been properly shredded. So what they would want to do is just bring any documents that they have. It cannot be commercial type documents or like CDs or anything like that, but if it's just a paper documents, bank statements, credit card statements, medical information, whatever they have that they would like to dispose of safely, just bring that here in a bag or a box, and it just gets dumped right into the unit that gets shredded right here on site.
Exactly. Get that confidential information out of here and protect it from everybody. And that's what this Shred Day is ultimately about. Chris, we thank you so much for your time once again for giving us this information. But for people who are watching, listening right now, if they do want to find out a little bit more, or maybe that just went past them too fast, how can they find out more about Household Hazardous Waste Day and Shred Day?
Oh, please just give us a call right here. We'd love to help you. You can call the main number here, 248-451-4800. You can press 0 for the operator, and the call will come straight to myself or Steve Kaplan, and we'll help you out with any questions you have.
Perfect. Thank you again. Like we said, Chris Darcy, Executive Assistant to the Township Supervisor for West Bloomfield Township. We appreciate your time again.
Thank you. Thanks, Kevin.
Yes, and once again, those dates are coming up right here in our West Bloomfield Township area. That's once again Household Hazardous Waste Day. That'll be Friday, September 20th, 4 to 6 p.m. for seniors. Saturday, September 21st, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for general residents. And then for Shred Day, we have a senior day, which will be Friday, September 27th, and Saturday, September 28th for general residents. You can find out more information about that directly on the website of the West Bloomfield Township at wbtownship.org. We got a lot more to keep you updated with right here in our community that affects you. We are live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations, that's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Kevin McIntosh, alongside my co-worker, colleague, and co-anchor, Jake Schaf. Now, we are a couple weeks into the school year as of right now, and the new Bloomfield Hills superintendent is actually starting off his first school year with the district, and he has a lot planned and a lot to learn, even from local school districts like West Bloomfield. And he was actually hired by Bloomfield Hills Board in May and started in July. But joining us right here on the Splash to talk a little bit more about his plan and what he will learn is Rick West, superintendent for Bloomfield Hills School District. And we appreciate you for being here. And as you transition into your role as superintendent for Bloomfield Hills Schools, how do you plan to address the unique needs of both the students and the families in the community?
I'm excited to be here. We're on day 60 or so, and it's been a whirlwind. We finally brought the kids back. But to address the unique needs, you've been at it long enough, or I've been at it long enough to realize that there's really very little that's unique. But working and being visible, being accessible to our families, understanding their needs. I've been on a listening tour for the first several weeks here and just learned a great deal. So looking forward to working with my team, working with our staff and learning more from our community to understand at a deeper level what those needs are and how we may go about addressing them.
I love the approach, the fact that you're saying based on your experience, you pretty much seen a lot that has been, that can be thrown out there. So as far as unique, that's kind of subjective. But other than that, yes, kind of just having a listening ear to kind of listen and hear what are people's needs, wants, and what can we do and what's necessary, things of that nature. I love that approach first and foremost. Kind of getting into parents and students and their engagement with the schools overall. Like, are there any specific initiatives that you have in mind to enhance community engagement and maybe even better the relationship between the schools and the local residents?
Sure. Yeah, I welcomed the staff back last week, and we gave a message on care using an acronym as superintendents do. We challenged the staff to really authentically connect, acknowledge, respect, and engage with one another. So that's the organizational challenge right now, and how that plays out is yet to be seen. But we're going to be looking to connect at every level, connect with each other, connect with our stakeholders, acknowledge the good work we're doing, tell our stories, respect one another, respect the divergent thought that exists within our community, and then engage authentically with one another. We do have I'll have monthly events where I'll be out and
Okay.
about. I'll be out and about, daily, but connecting with people. But I look forward to having cookies with the superintendent, soup with the superintendent. Those events are all on our website, and I'll be engaging with stakeholders that way.
Ah, yeah, I like that. There you go, soup with the superintendent. Just little different, clever events and things like that. But overall, just to get the community out. And I like that you're saying, hey, we'll have these events. It'll give you an opportunity to speak with me directly, voice your opinion, anything that you have going on. So you're at least presenting it out there. And I like that you're doing that. With us right here live on the Splash, Superintendent for Bloomfield Hills Schools, Mr. Rick West, talking about his plans, his initiatives as we continuously go into the 2024-2025 school year. With your background in business administration, how do you plan to leverage that while ensuring Bloomfield Hills schools remain financially stable and also continuing that high quality education that they're used to?
Yeah, financial stewardship is a main job of the superintendent and the Board of Education. And I'm happy to say we have probably the best assistant superintendent of business services in the state. I was able to work with Candace Moynihan at Troy, and she beat me over here, actually. So leveraging her skill set, leveraging our business services team, we have a very dutiful, very intelligent Board of Education. So I'll be working with them on setting priorities. We're going to engage in a strategic planning process where we tie our resource allocation to the strategic plan and what we want to accomplish in the district. So, certainly that's my skill set. I bring years of experience in managing and being a fiscal steward of financial resources that the community trusts us with, but doing it collaboratively, working with our team, working with our union groups, making sure that we are addressing the needs. Again, listening to the community and what is the strategic planning process going to yield, and how are we going to allocate resources accordingly, is all part of the plan. And I look forward to engaging in that process. When you talk about community engagement, there will be opportunities for everybody to be involved if they want to and lend their opinions. So I look forward to that. And making sure that we have great financials to really drive the process.
Yeah, it's definitely about balance. And like we said, we know with your background, you're experienced in that already. So, I would only imagine that you would just take the strategic leap forward to make sure everything is perfectly balanced. Make sure, like we said, high quality education along with financial stability, definitely key in maintaining a great education for our youth. Now, outside of just education, support for our children, mainly mental health has been a very, very big topic recently. Are there any new or existing programs that you plan to prioritize that supports mental health for our children in the Bloomfield Hills School District?
Well, I haven't been able to delve into that extremely deep yet, but I do know we have a very robust social work program, counseling program. We have a therapy dog in every building, which has provided supports, and I've seen that in action even on the first day. So it is something that we have to prioritize, and we will. I would imagine any strategic plan process within schools really focuses on the entire child, and their well-being, their mental well-being, social, emotional well-being is going to be at the forefront of what we do and how we allocate resources. I'll tell you, the state cut 31 AA funding. It's a specific funding mechanism. I think to the tune of 300 and some million dollars. We're going to be working with our state legislatures and advocating for a restoration of those funds. It clearly was identified for school safety and mental health, and I think it's the restoration of those funds is going to be a priority as we work to advocate for public education. But it is, as part of my administration and part of the strategic planning, it is going to be a focus. And I said as part of my outline or challenge to the district is connection. I believe connection is at the forefront of being socially and emotionally well balanced. So how do we connect our staff together? How do we connect our students to meaningful experiences? That's all part of the plan and all part of the conversations in the fall and throughout this school year. So I look forward to getting to be part of that work and leading that work, but it is going to be at the forefront of our conversations.
100%. Very reassuring. I'm glad you went into depth to talk about that, because any of the students, parents, or members of the community that are watching that may have that as a concern, now they have the answers for that. So thank you for providing that insight. And with us right here live on The Splash, new superintendent for Bloomfield Hill Schools, Mr. Rick West, just talking about his plan, initiatives, and how he's kind of getting settled into transition being the new superintendent. How do you envision working with the school board as well as other local leaders in school districts to kind of foster a collaborative environment focused on continuous improvement?
Yeah, so I've been blessed. Obviously, the board hired me in July. We had an opportunity in August to engage, and I look forward to developing that relationship. This team of 8, our governance team, has to be solid. We have to be on the same page. And I just have enjoyed getting to know each one of them individually and then collectively developing norms with them and how we're going to operate and work together. And I believe we're on solid ground. As a governance team and able to really position ourselves to lead the work that's moving forward and developing that strategic plan. So I look forward to really honing in on that relationship and making sure that I prioritize that as well. And what's the second part of that question?
Essentially, how do you incorporate, or how will you incorporate that into your strategy? Or I'm sorry, just essentially collaborating with school board members and other local district leaders. How do you kind of plan on collaborating to make that a great environment? But it seems like you answered the question well already, Mr. West.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Just to add to that, the community leaders as well. I've been able to meet with Danny Walsh on a number of occasions, and strong communities equal strong schools and vice versa. And I look forward to really developing those relationships throughout.
Absolutely. Mr. West, we appreciate your time. Lastly, very quickly before we go, any last messages, key information that you want to get out to the community before we let you go?
Just continue to look for opportunities to engage, connect with us, acknowledge the work that we're doing, respect one another as we move along. I look forward to getting out there and getting to know people. And if you see me, say hi, and I look forward to connecting with our community.
Absolutely. And we appreciate your time, your information, your perspective, and more importantly, good luck throughout the school year. Joining us once again for his time, Superintendent for Bloomfield Hill Schools, Mr. Rick West. Thank you again, sir.
Appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you.
We love to support our local educational leaders in our local communities, I should say. Like we said, as Mr. Rick West is actually starting off his position as superintendent for Bloomfield Hill School District, I should say, we want to wish him much success on his journey as well. Speaking of a journey, there's actually an update to a recent journey that we had. We spoke with a West Bloomfield mixed martial artist and his career and things of that nature. Don't know if you remember, but we actually have him join us right here live on The Splash to talk about his recent bout in Las Vegas, which he remained victorious against Dorian Ramos in Dana White's Contender Series on ESPN. With me right here live on The Splash to talk about it from his own perspective, we have mixed martial artist from West Bloomfield. We want to welcome back Austin Bashi. Thank you for being here, Austin.
Thank you, man. How's it going?
Man, doing pretty good, excited and happy for you. Now, you just came off of a very significant win as of recently, like we said, against Dorian Ramos. I want you to just kind of walk us through your preparation for that fight and how you feel like that helped lead you to your victory.
Yeah, it was obviously the biggest fight of my career, Las Vegas, Dana White's Contender Series. Preparation was the same, though, just as my other 12 fights have been. We always train hard, training every single day, twice a day, and preparation was pretty much the same. And then went into the fight and got the job done in the second round.
Nice, man. You did it on such a big platform. Also, let's talk about that. Big players show up in big games. I'm an advocate for that, and you showed up on this. So how does it feel to secure this significant win on a platform like Dana White's Contender Series and showcase on this major platform?
Feels real good. This is kind of what I've been dreaming of my whole entire life, and to being able to fight in front of Dana White and millions watching around the world, it felt real nice.
Yeah. And you also, if I'm not mistaken, earned a life-changing contract with the UFC based on that fight too. So congratulations to you on all your success. By the way, with us live on the Splash, we have MMA fighter from West Bloomfield representing Austin Bashi. Just talking about his recent victory against Dorian Ramos, actually, against the Dana White Contender Series on ESPN. Big platforms right there. Now, your fighting style, wrestling, right? How do you feel like that actually helps with your MMA career, especially with you having an undefeated record, by the way?
It's huge. I use my wrestling a lot to get the opponents tired, and people can kind of last 2, 3, 4 minutes, but after that first round, they start really getting tired, and me mixing up the wrestling with the striking back and forth helps me a lot.
Yeah, nice, man. Like we said, obviously it's working so far in your career. Is keeping you, you know what I'm saying, on top of your toes, so that, any other mixed fighting style that you come up against, obviously you come up victorious on top of that. With that being said, you also went through a few different transitions too, right? For an example, you were fighting in these regional promotions, Lights Out Championship, for an example. Now you moved up to, like we said, bigger stages, Dana White's Contender Series. Can you just talk about any challenges you may have faced making that transition from those regional promotions to the bigger fights?
Yeah, so obviously the regional promotions, you're a couple thousand people, and it's not as big of a scene. But with the UFC, it's millions around the world, and everyone's watching. But to be honest with you, it's kind of had the same feeling. Everything, even leading up to it, was pretty much similar, and the backstage room moments before the fight were kind of similar. At the end of the day, you're locked in the cage with another human, and you just go out there and fight, and that's what it felt like to me.
No, I understand 100%, man. Staying locked in, ultimately, not letting any of the distractions. Like I said, you're moving up in your stages, and it's bigger lights, it's more cameras, it's a little bit more pressure, at least some people will say subjectively. So to see how you're handling that mentally, I completely understand. That shows some maturity, especially for your age. 22 years old, undefeated. How do you manage the pressure of maintaining your streak and staying focused on your goals, not letting your head get too big?
Yeah, right. You see that a lot with people with like good undefeated records. They start after they kind of hit a streak, they'll not train too hard anymore. They'll start partying and stuff. But with me, it's all I really do is train, eat, and sleep, and I'll be doing this forever till I reach what I want in life, and that's UFC gold.
Yeah, and I will understand that. Probably it's a matter of blocking out a lot of distractions too. With that being said, let me just ask you, just off the humbug, anything that you like to do outside of fighting? You said fight, or you said train, eat, sleep. Is that literally all your life? We playing any video games, any other sports at all to kind of keep you out of that by any chance?
Honestly, that's pretty much my life. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll hang out with my family and just chill with my friends
right
when I have some free time. And but yeah, that's pretty much it. Because I am at the gym for like 8 to 10 hours a day, and by the time I come home, it's nighttime. I'm tired. I eat, sleep, and do it all over again.
I'm not mad at that, Austin. You got to respect that, as a matter of fact. That's what I call an integrator, integrating your career into your actual lifestyle. So like you said, eat, sleep, and train pretty much. So I understand, respect that. With us right here live on the Splash from West Bloomfield, mixed martial artist Austin Bashi. Just asking him about his recent victory against Dorian Ramos in Las Vegas and other things in his career. Now, what role do you feel like training at Warrior Way Martial Arts and your connection to West Bloomfield community has played a role in you as a fighter?
It's huge. So the thing about me, I started training when I was 8 years old, and I've been with the same exact team and the same exact coaches now for 14 years, and being able to connect with them and just kind of the whole entire community is huge. You always see people jumping from gyms to gyms, different camps, and especially once they get big, that's when they really will switch their team. But with me, I've been with this team. This is the team that helped me to reach where I'm at today, and I'll be with this team for the rest of my life till the day I die.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Loyal to the soil. That's the definition of it right there. Representing for West Bloomfield. We love to have you. Hey, Bashi, before we get out of here, man, after this recent win, what are the goals going forward, 2024, 2025, and beyond?
Yes, obviously I just fought last week, but I'm hoping to make my UFC debut either in December or January. I try to fight at least 3 to 4 times a year, so one more for the end of the year will be ideal.
Woo! Let's go. You got me hyped, man. All right, man. Okay. Hey, we're going to be here to support all the way. By the way, West Bloomfield representing. We want to thank you again for your time. MMA fighter looking to continue that undefeated streak, by the way. Austin Bashi, we appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Man, super dope talking to somebody out there doing it. Great international work, national work, recognition on ESPN right here from West Bloomfield. So we love to see that. And like we said, as he continues in his career, we will also keep you updated and keep you updated on everything else happening locally in the Greater West Bloomfield community. We are live, local, social. It is the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Hi, I'm Debbie Binder, West Bloomfield Township Clerk. I want to congratulate Civic Center TV on reaching 1 million viewers on YouTube. We are really grateful for your efforts to help us get our message regarding elections out to your viewers. I'm Debbie Binder, proud to be 1 in a million.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
Bringing you stories and memories from Orchard Lake. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
One scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
When the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
I'm relying on luck, but who knows if it'll be on my side.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when. Take control. 1. Assess your needs. 2. Make a plan. 3. Engage your support network. Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell.
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh, along with my co-anchor, Jake Schaf. Thanks for being here again, Jake. A lot we're talking about to keep our residents updated, especially with things moving on in the community. And if you want to keep up with any of the interviews that we recently did, anyone that we talked to, any of the information, make sure you keep up on our website, civiccentertv.com, and all of our social medias as well. Facebook, Civic Center TV 15, and YouTube, Civic Center TV. We'll make it even easier for you. This QR code right here on the screen, scan that QR code with your smartphone, and it'll take you directly to the links to our website and social media. Now, keeping things informational right here in our community, the process of keeping water clean in West Bloomfield is a process indeed. Did you know Southeast Michigan actually it benefits from an abundance of fresh water that we get right here from the Great Lakes, which holds 20% of the world's fresh water, by the way. The Great Lakes Water Authority treats and delivers 1.72 billion gallons of clean drinking water daily, with 3.9 million people across 150 communities, including the Greater West Bloomfield area. This water is sourced from places like the Detroit River, Lake Huron, undergoes extensive filtration and disinfection to ensure safety. The water is tested multiple stages to remove harmful ingredients and things of that nature too. There's an entire story of it and how the process goes for our water and how they actually different departments work together between the Greater West Bloomfield Township and the Great Lakes Water Authority as well. They actually have a video of it that you can actually watch directly on the website as well. So you can go to wbtownship.org for more information about that and just search for the water department and find out how the process of us getting our fresh drinking water is actually made, especially from the Great Lakes. It's a very interesting story nonetheless, Jake.
For sure, for sure. Lots of information on making sure how to keep that water clean and safe to drink, because the last thing anybody wants is for somebody to take a big gulp of water and then for them to get sick. That's not what anybody wants. It's great to have this information at the ready, and it's great to have it available. So absolutely, go check out the video when you have time. Once again, it is at wbtownship.org.
Absolutely. And there's so much other things to keep you updated on, which is what we do right here at Civic Center, and we appreciate your time. Per usual, we are live, we are local, we are social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.